YouTube, what the grudge is going on? HeirofCarthage here. I'm going to be representing the Dawe for a few battles. Played the Empire a lot. Wanted to have some fun with the dwarves. Not exactly going to be easy, probably, in multiplayer. And I am still losing to the Beastmen pretty much every time. So I will see if I can come up with something better for the Beastmen and tell you what I think. But right now, the problem with the Beastmen is they can just bring like 5 or 6 Bestigor and some chariots, and you automatically lose. There's really no beating that. At least not that I've found yet. If you guys have any counters to that type of build, let me know. But yeah, 5 or 6 Bestigor, either heroes on a chariot or chariots and dead dwarf. That's all there is to it. So let me know what you think if you have anything to that. Anyway, this particular one, Skaven, I felt fairly capable here, so I brought a flame cannon and a couple of cannons. The cannons were going to make sure that he couldn't use a warp lightning cannon to hit me from range. Then the flame cannon can obviously cause tremendous damage to infantry, which the Skaven usually bring in quite a lot of numbers. He does have a Hell Pit Abomination, which is concerning. He has a Warlord over here, and then a Plague Priest on this flank. He's also brought some Death Glow Bombardier, or Globadiers, I think. Front line, I've got Longbeards because they cannot be fear broken, and then I've got some Warriors of Dragonfire Pass here. In the back line, I've got a couple of Miners with Blasting Charges. This is to interrupt the charge of the Skaven units with the explosives so that they don't get a good infantry charge. At least it was supposed to. There we go. Yeah, so see right there, it kind of interrupted the charge at the last second. Didn't do great, actually. So, it was an idea. It wasn't an idea that worked. Anyway, I got Thorgrim back here. I know the Hell Pit's not really what I want to fight, but I'm going to send him over there just because I need something to keep it busy. Thorgrim is giving a +9 melee attack to all nearby units. This is not only going to make my dwarves tanky, but it's going to make them relatively offensive as well in terms of their capabilities. I also have the Master Engineer back here buffing my artillery because I brought a lot of it. And he's got the Fiery Ring of Thori, and I'm hoping to use it on infantry blobs kind of like this one later. I haven't used that Fiery Ring in a long time, so we'll see whether or not, last I remember, it was pretty good against unarmored blobs. So my front line held and was able to drive back the Clan Rats, no big surprise, and now I'm just trying to work down the Death Glow Bombardiers here, which can do some pretty tremendous damage to me, but a Flame Cannon does tremendous damage to them. My opponent does try to get to my cannons, and he actually does kind of get to some of them, but he doesn't get to the Flame Cannon. The Flame Cannon's actually the one causing him some big doo-doo right now. Oh man, did I just Jar Jar Binks there? I did. My son's been watching like a lot of the Clone Wars, so I think it stuck to me unnecessarily. But anyway, yeah, you can see that the Hell Pit Abomination actually gets owned for a long time, and I'm not exactly sure why. He must not have been targeting Thorgrim or something. Yeah, the Hell Pit Abomination takes an absolute beating, but then Thorgrim all of a sudden gets targeted properly, and he starts getting the crud kicked out of him by the Hell Pit Abomination. See the ring here? I should have positioned that a little further back. If you start it here, and then where the cone of it, where it comes out, it'll do more damage. So that was a mistake. Now I'm going to have to wait a while to get another use out of the ring. My engineer's kind of just been helping to fight off these Clan Rats from the Flame Cannon. I should have retreated them, but the Flame Cannon was actually still firing for a moment. My cannon over here was able to keep fire on the Hell Pit Abomination. Thank goodness, because, I mean, Thorgrim is taking a savaging over there at the hands of that Hell Pit Abomination. Over here, I've got Slayers that are holding up Death Runners. The Slayers end up being a nice counter to the Death Runners, actually, because the Death Runners are a little bit wasted on a unit like Slayers. Over here, you can see that the Death Runners work down a unit of Dwarf Warriors relative ease. I'm going to pull some Longbeards over this way to help keep them busy, and then bring the Warriors of Dragonfire Pass to kind of hold the center. I can't get rid of this Death Glow Bombardier, but it's not in the best position right now. It is getting a little bit of damage done, but it's not doing fantastic. And then look at this. Just Thorgrim keeps getting owned by this thing. It regenerates. So yeah, I'm getting pretty worried at this point whether Thorgrim's going to live. I've tried to click an attack order there, but my Longbeards did kind of like a weird, look at this, like weird column formation attack. So not a lot of success for me. All the while, Thorgrim continues to get beat up pretty badly, and I need him around because he's buffing my troops so much. Anyway, my Flame Cannon should get to come remount. This flank's still going good for me. On this flank, I'm able to push back. Up front, my Warriors of Dragonfire Pass are doing a really good job. And then the Master Engineer, again, just kind of being used to, well, I don't even know what he's doing right now. He must have finished an order and then I didn't re-aim him. But looks like we killed the Hell Pit Abomination finally. I think that was some help from the Master Engineer, if I remember right. There's some Skaven Slave Spears attacking Thorgrim. I'm going to try and bring the Master Engineer over to help keep them busy. I really don't want Thorgrim dead. Push back the Deathglow Bombardiers. They're almost out of ammo. Over here, though, the Warlord is beating up on a lot of my infantry. No big surprise. He's pretty good at that. So you can see Queek wannabe there. But I'm just kind of keeping him busy with miners. It's not actually a great use for him. Flame Cannon's back, and it lands a direct hit on the Death Globes. And then my Warriors are Dragonfire Pass now. Not really needing to focus up front. They can come over here and help out my Master Engineer. The Master Engineer has been using his Fiery Ring to kind of, on occasion, destroy some of this blob of clan rats over here. So you can see he's actually got a decent number of kills right now, considering that first ring didn't really do anything. The Warlord gets tangled up with Thorgrim, but then decides to run off. I mean, he doesn't have armor piercing, but he might well have won that. But we're about to clean up these Death Runners finally. The Death Runners got a lot of kills. They were a tough unit. The Slayers helped clutch me out of that when they got 75 kills. At this point, it's looking pretty decent for me. I do still have to deal with the Plague Priest. He's summoning more clan rats. But the clan rats aren't going to do much good. They're just fodder, really. And the Dwarf Warriors of Dragonfire Pass should chew those guys up pretty bad. You can see that they're getting a lot of kills. They are a decent offensive unit, actually, for the Skaven. But there are some Death Runners that are dropping the armor of all my men, which will help increase the effectiveness of these clan rats. So clan rats actually synergize pretty decent with stuff like Death Runners. Flame Cannon gets back up here, pops another shot with this last bit of ammunition. 176 kills, not bad. Flame Cannon picks up a double chevron, so it's a good match for the Flame Cannon. My cannons, on the other hand, they did good at drawing the enemy in and damaging his rat ogres, but they did some damage to his Hell Pit. They didn't get a ton of kills, but they did do some damage. So yeah, Queek Jr. in there with the rest of his filthy, stinking rats. I've got my Master Engineer in there, and then Thorgrim is headed this way, being carried into battle. Here comes another Fiery Ring, gonna burn through some Skaven there. That's gonna be enough to send the rest of their infantry packing. And we're gonna gain a victory. So my opponent here, let's take a look at his army and think about what he had going for him here. I mean, the Hell Pit Abomination, I mean, don't get me wrong. He can, he's really an anti-large unit, but he can own dwarf leaders too. I mean, he's pretty good at it. I think the risk of this thing is that he's fairly low armor. So if I'd had a bunch of quarrelers or something, this guy would have gotten chewed up pretty bad. Pretty bad. So definitely a risk, I think, to bring that unit. Probably more so than you get for the reward. Now, Rat Ogres, they're fast. They can get around the flanks. They do armor-piercing damage. I think they're a sound pick versus the Dwarves. Death Runners also make sense in terms of the fact that, I mean, these guys, they can hide till basically they're in combat, so you can use them to flank. You can use them to support a main line. Definitely makes sense. Standard Warlord, I mean, I'm not sure. I'm not really sure what you bring to this fight. I mean, like, again, if you bring a large unit, I don't know. So I'm not sure what Skaven Lord I like against the Dwarves, to be honest. I haven't really thought about it. Plague Priest, I mean, it doesn't hurt to have some magic in your army. Deathglow Bombardiers, these guys do very well. Very well against armored units. So in some ways, these guys make sense. The challenge is that Dwarves excel at long range, and this Flame Cannon just absolutely crapped all over these Deathglow Bombardiers. So Flame Cannons, Quarrelers, all those things will put an end very quickly to Deathglow Bombardiers. So if you're going to use them, which I don't 100% disagree with, I think that you're probably better off to use those Bombardiers after you've kind of coordinated an attack with the Rat Ogres and Hell Pit Abomination and maybe some outflanking units, like just something to get around and put some pressure on the artillery or skirmishers, and then you could bring in the Deathglow Bombardiers. Try and bring them in from the flank, where they might be able to get good shots into the back of an enemy unit that's engaged or something like that. You could cause a lot of damage that way. So, I don't know. What do y'all think? What kind of picks do you like to make when you're going Skaven against Dawi? I mean, the Dawi have a lot of high armor, and Skaven armor piercing isn't, it's limited, but you still have a lot of tools at your disposal, like, oh freak, I was so glad he didn't bring Doom Wheels. Doom Wheels are a pain in the butt, so they would definitely be something I would pick against the Dwarves if I were the Skaven player for sure. Anyway, hope y'all enjoyed that one. HeirofCarthage signing out for now. I'll be back with more online battles soon. Do hope you enjoyed it. If you want to subscribe, make sure to click that subscribe button, and remember that if you actually want to be notified of the videos, you actually have to push the bell also, because YouTube doesn't think subscribe means subscribe. Anyway, thank you all. I will see you soon.